Hey guys, my name is Nick Tietz. I'm with ILT Studios, and I'm here today with Chris D, my man. And we are doing our founder check-in. Chris, why don't you go first? Introduce yourself, and then give us the 30-second pitch on Enlight.
So my name is Dieumerci Christel. I am a founder of Enlight. I'm in Fargo. I also go to North Dakota State University, and we provide educators the information that they need to productively engage, personalize, and motivate their students in the classroom and behind screens.
Nice, very cool. So tell me a little bit of how does Enlight work?
One of the biggest things that we found out as a student, I always thought teachers were boring, and so out of high school, I went on this mission to solve boredom. When I found out that it's really difficult to do that, and I got hit in the face, I went back and talked to about 200 educators around the world, and one of the biggest things that I found out was sometimes we're solving for symptoms, not problems. The problem that I actually found out was like teachers are basically public speakers, don't really know their audience. And so that's basically what I'm here to really like help teachers do, is get to know who the kids that they're teaching are, so they can actually make the impact that teachers went into teaching to do anyway.
That's cool. That is a really important problem.
Yeah.
Well, so where are you at? Tell me where are you at in the startup journey? And what are some kind of updates, highlights about what's going on with Enlight?
So actually we launched our alpha product last year. We had great success. I was gonna beg four of my high school teachers to try this thing. One of my teachers actually posted it into one of their group chats, and it was just literally went crazy. I had 50 teachers come in, all ready to pay me out of pocket. I picked 20 for early access, and then now literally it's been just crazy because we've gotten a lot of traction. Once we're start right now, we're building version 2 of our app. We have more than 250 teachers on our wait list. We
Awesome.
have 2 schools on our wait list, about 3 school districts. One of the biggest school districts in New York is on our wait list, which is really, really awesome. We also just closed our 200K round with also really, really good evaluation. So really, really happy and ready to go in the trenches here.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. You
Thank
guys
you.
have
Thank you.
done so much good work and you've come very far in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
So
it's really, really awesome, man.
one of the things that you and I were talking about was value chains, and
Yeah.
I thought that that's really insightful. As Can you explain to some of our other founders that are in ILT Academy, like how do you look at what your value chain is? How do you explain
Yeah.
it, and then how are you kind of measuring success against it?
So one of the biggest things that we had to kind of do is really understand the psychography of the educator, right? So we understood that they had some teacher who impacted them, and that's why they felt like they had this like burden to really go teach and impact other kids. And
Mhm.
when they go into teaching, when they have so many students, it's really hard for them to expand the capacity of getting to know every student in the classroom and then really impacting all of them. Even though that's literally their dream, right? It's very, very difficult for them to do that. And so we figured out that like our value chain is really to help the teachers make that impact in the classroom. Because teachers usually after 5 years, they leave the classroom because they're like, this is not worth it. This is not what I signed up for. I'm not impacting my kids. And that's a really big, so schools get in trouble. It's actually a $7.3 billion problem for schools because there's a lot of turnover, right? Teachers come in, they're like, it's not what I thought it was, right? And then they leave, right? And so all these statistics were showing us that teachers want to impact, but they're not actually impacting at a scale, right? So
Mm.
that's where we saw our opportunities. Like we can scale a teacher's impact. And that was the first kind of value chain, is that we can help this person who's in the classroom, but we know our customer is the institution, is the school. And so we had to basically bring this value. And then the other kind of piece that fit into this puzzle is that also schools are saying to parents, to states, to the government, that we're impacting the students, we're preparing them for society, but they can't prove it. They can't prove the impact. And so where we figured our sweet sauce is, we can actually help the teachers impact and scale their impact, because they're already professionals. They know what they're doing. We just need to scale that impact that they're doing, and then enable the schools to measure the impact that these teachers are having. Once they're measuring this impact, then our value chain basically is complete. The schools get the data, the teachers are really happy because they get to do what they went into teaching to do in the first place.
Right. Oh, that's very cool. And obviously you've been having more and more successes with it. And with the more data you get in, you get to, refine how you're doing that, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So, honestly, it changes very, very quickly, based on what, teachers are really looking for. And so what we've been kind of learning is that, a lot of these educators, they're kind of just sick of being told what to do, right? And so like our iterations and the type of features that we're bringing in are totally abstract. They're just, kind of like an expansion of what they do already, but just helping them expand it a little bit more better, right? And so like that's kind of the type of data that we've been looking at right now.
Very cool. Say, Chris, one of the things that to kind of close on, but right now, sharing your idea and sharing your vision, and kind of like what's for, it can be known as the pitch, but you're kind of always pitching, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk just briefly about what have you found that works better, whether it's an investor or an actual like customer. But what insights could you share about pitching that's worked for you?
Yeah, so for me, like one thing that I've kind of prided myself is, I've kind of gotten to know myself, right? I've kind of gotten to know what I'm good at, and so I bring my strength when I go into these pitches. And one biggest thing that I'm really good at and blessed to have is this ability to tell stories. And so, like the way I've really done my pitches has been to really just have an honest conversation with the person next to me. I humanize them, right? And when we have a conversation, they kind of empathize with me. And then, like people love talking about themselves. So, I catch that real quick. So they talk about themselves and then they give me an opportunity. When it's their turn, they listen to me because I listen to them, right? But when they're talking, but they're giving me all these, access points is what I call them. It's like, I have kids. I know that, like, I went to school here, I know that. So it's like all these things that I can bring back when I'm pitching about this problem that can actually resonate with that person. So it makes the whole process a little bit simpler. But because when I can really personalize this pitch to the person in front of me, then it really resonates with me. I figured out a way to basically make this problem personal for the person next to me, right? If it's personal for them, if it's like your kids, right? Your kids are not having, like their teacher is not really, is their let's call it their teacher is half as effective every year, right? Your student, your kid could be even better, right? Like then it's like personal for them. It's like, oh my gosh, there isn't enough being done in schools. So when I can make it personal for them, the problem is personal, then the conversation changes, right? Like I'm trying to kind of, like, the investors are humans and they care about money, but when you make it a little bit personal for them, then it's like the conversation kind of changes from the money to the impact that you're really trying to make.
Right, right. Well, and I see what you're doing there too, is that as you personalize the problem, and you're contextualizing it for them, you're helping them understand what is the problem that we're really trying to solve, and do you agree that this is an important problem, and then you're going to solve it with this amazing piece of software that you're designing, because there's lots of ways to solve that problem, right?
Yeah, man. It's that's the crazy part, right? Is that, like, as many pitches as I've done, that's kind of like the little formula that I figured out, is that, you really, really gotta get to understand who the person next to you is, right? To really teach them. You cannot teach who you don't know. So, and we're really teaching, right?
Mhm.
We're informing, and then we're informing to persuade, right? And so it's this kind of like, I call it empathetic problem solving, right? Empathetic problem solving. So when I'm being empathetic with them, so they can actually really listen to me too. So, by the
Right.
way, yeah.
No, what were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say you should pause it so I can run to like grab my charger, because like my
Oh, sure. Well,
PC
here,
is gonna literally die.
no, no, that's okay. Chris, thank you so much for your time. This
Actually,
was
I
really
got it. I
good.
got it. I got it. I
Oh, you
got it.
got
I
it?
got it.
Okay, perfect.
I got it. We're good. We're good.
Okay. Hey, this is what happens when we do
Yeah.
live. But what I
Yeah.
think is important is that, like, this is real, this is unscripted. Like,
Yeah.
we want founders to share their stories with more founders because there's so much to learn and know.
Yeah, yeah. It's honestly very, very. It's good work. It's good work, but it's hard work.
Yes. Yeah,
Is
totally.
I don't know. I don't know like a better way to really describe it. And that's the thing, right? Like for a lot of people, like for myself, like, I have this opportunity with my product where I could be going into like many different verticals. I could be selling this to employers. I could be selling this but what I'm passionate about, what keeps me up at night, is schools, right? And
Hmm.
so that's a problem worth solving. So that's one of the biggest things. It has to be worth it for you. If it's not worth it for you, you're not really going to take those risks. Like a lot of people are taking a risk on themselves. If that problem is worth it for you, then you'll go the extra mile. And so for me, I've made my problem, the problem that I'm solving, a little bit personal, because
Hmm.
I experienced this firsthand, right? And I said, listen, instead of people waiting for the future, in the future, this is what they do all the time. In the future, it's going to get better. In the future, it's going to get better. We are entrepreneurs. Our goal is to take the future and bring it here, and
Yes.
not wait until future people to solve our own problems, because future people are us, right? And so a lot of these things that happen, like with people waiting and waiting and waiting, like who are you waiting for, right, to solve your problems? And so there's a lot of problems out there worth solving, right? It's like when you find yours, don't wait, right? Like when you hear, oh, in the future this is going to happen, in the future it's going to happen, the future is really just telling us that we have a lot of problems in the past and we need to start solving them
I love it. I love it. So wise, man. So wise. You're wise beyond your years, my friend.
now.
Hey, Chris, I want to say thank you for your time. I know, we have our monthly check-ins, but I appreciate you for dropping some knowledge, sharing, and I look forward to our next one.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you for
Thanks,
having
man.
me.
All
Yeah.
right. I'll see
Thank
you,
you.
brother. Bye.
Bye.